Hey, this is Kieran, Coach's Corner, episode 7, and this is just a quick recap of our first Coach's Corner chat number 1, and it went down last night. I appreciate Corey, Tyler, and Colton hopping on, and we were talking about developing and growing your program, your soccer program, and the main takeaways that I got from the discussion were, one, it's got to be community-based. You've got to be a positive impact on your community. You can't just sit there and expect players to show up and have the mindset that you're looking for, the culture that you're looking for, the behaviors, the character traits, unless you actually exemplify them. And by doing things in the community, you can start making connections, positive relationships. You can start setting the tone with kids when they're younger. So some of the ideas that were brought up were 3v3 tournaments where your players referee the games and run the concessions and kind of set everything up and are just around for the younger kids to see, all the way to coaches being involved in youth camps or running, like the rec leagues or running a club team. Just the idea of just going out. And this spurred me, and it's been something I've kind of thought about. And so today I actually went to one of the local churches, which is growing immensely, has a ton of land, and just kind of went to them and said, hey, what kind of things do you guys have going on? What kind of opportunities do you have for like my team to come down and train? It's in a really good spot in terms of being close to a number of my players. I have a small kind of group that they walk to every practice, and it's a good 20-minute walk. And if I can utilize some of the facilities at this church, it puts their walk goes down from 20 to 5 minutes. And so I need to keep those guys involved. Those are the guys that, I've talked about in previous videos. They're not playing club soccer. They're getting rides to and from indoor games and such, and they're always like walking up to our turf sessions and what have you. So the big takeaway was community-based and how you can develop that. The other thing that came up and I thought was really cool was the idea of education. And you hear it all the time where, there's the one parent that's like boot it or send it to the flag or just things that don't make sense or fit to your culture or to your style of play or whatever. And by being a part of the community and sharing the ideas and the things that you guys like to do within your program, that starts to become, consistency, I think, is huge with everything that you do. And that just allows people to then notice and hear what your key points are, what your expectations are. And I think that can only just grow what you're trying to build. So as they come into the high school level, my players already know what it is that I'm working on or what my expectations are when I talk about character or what I'm looking for in my expectations of effort and focus and all those little things. I feel you start to get better and the parents start learning it. It's really hard when you get a sophomore, junior, senior parent, or maybe a junior, senior, and you start to instill things. Like that's something I'm working through right now, is parents being able to just kind of buy in to maybe some new methodology or what the expectations are that I have for players in terms of on and off the field. And so big takeaways: community, parent education, just education in general of how the game of soccer is played, consistency, and what have you. I did post a Medium article where I just kind of typed up all this information. I'm just trying to share all this stuff. The coaches' corners are not for me to tell you how to do everything. The discussion last night was wide open and just like, hey, let's just talk about this topic. What things can you guys add to the discussion? And then each guy just kept kind of building off of it. And I'm excited to get more coaches involved, because I think the more that we talk, the more that we have one another. If I get better as a coach and you get better as a coach, our players get better. By playing better teams, everyone's going to get better. And that's why I always talk about brick by brick. Let's do this. I'm out.